Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, what's up, guys? Today I want to talk about a moment that you probably are pretending and denying and pushing off for forever because you don't want to admit that it has to happen soon, and that is talking to your daughters about puberty. Okay, so let me be the first one to say that I am not the person with all the answers and who had a mom who did it right and did all the things, and so now I can share with you those tips. No, on the opposite, I was not a child that had a parent that was like, hey, honey, let's sit down. Let's talk about these things. You're about to face a lot of stuff, and I should probably give you a heads up because that would make your life so much easier. And then I would be like, gee, thanks, Mom, when I'm like 20 or 30. That didn't happen. My talks about growth and body change and sex and puberty and all that were advice from my friends that they got from their brothers and sisters, from somebody else's friend, from another person at school who just said this is how it was and we all believed it. Yeah, that was my talk, and that's why I look back and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. All those decisions or choices that I made now, it makes sense because I had no clue, and I believed all the myths, like literally all the things that people would just tell you because I had no idea otherwise. So when I realized it was time to have that conversation with my daughter, because we were at a playground, a public park, and I overheard kids her age talking about these things, and I realized that I can't control what other parents are and aren't teaching their kids. Like, we have no control over that. And I don't want her to get advice from somebody else because then it makes me seem not as like her go-to person, right? Because I wasn't the first one that said, hey, let me tell you about this. I wasn't the person that showed up and seemed like I knew it all, right? Or like, not know it all, but you're the source for all this information. Because once they go to somebody else and somebody else tells them first, then your validity goes out the window. They don't think that it is because you're too nervous to talk about it or you don't think they're ready. The first thing that comes to their mind is that you don't know about it, and so you haven't talked to them about it, which to us makes no sense. But right from their perspective, they have no idea what we know and what we don't know unless we share it with them. And so I wanted to be the first one. I want her to get the truth from me so that way there is no question, and it's not this taboo thing. It's not something that seems so dangerous that it's enticing to her either. And that I want her to know that this is everybody, like across the board for the most part. This is what every girl is going to go through. This is not weird. This is not strange. This is not anything but normal. Okay, so how did I do this, you ask? Oh, good question. I'm so glad you asked because, like I said, I had no clue, right? I have no clue where to start this conversation. So I looked into books that could guide me, and I found something amazing and something that I never thought that I would turn to. And it is an American Girl brand set of books that I use to guide me through this conversation. And I have not been an American Girl family. Like, we haven't done the dolls. We haven't done any of those things. We just never got into it. So I was really surprised because I haven't really paid attention to their books that much. But this book, hands down, is amazing. And I'm going to tell you this version in particular because it has a book for both you and her to engage in conversation, move through the chapters together, which are really, really short, really, really simple. And then that way you don't just say, here's a book, read this, and you should learn all the things. So it's called The Care and Keeping of Us. And you will get a book, like there's a mom version and there's a daughter version, and each chapter matches up. So that way she's reading the same thing that you're reading, and it gives you conversation starters, how to talk about these things. So the first chapter is hygiene basics. So it tells you like what hygiene is, so how you can even explain that to them, how we can help them set up a routine, how we can show her how it's done, how to say things. For example, instead of just saying you're smelly, you need to clean your body, or like friends are going to think you're smelly, whatever. But explaining to them that each girl has their own timeline with physical changes and all these things. And so every girl is going to be different. And so, for example, let me get back to the conversation starter is you could say, I'm really proud of how you're taking charge of your routine in the morning, and it's great that you want to look your best. It seems like you don't have the time you need to get ready, though. So would you like to wake up a little earlier? You might feel less stress and rush, or is there something else you can think of that would help? And then in your daughter's version of the book, it will tell her examples of how to approach you with questions that for her may seem embarrassing, how to come up to you and say, Mom, I really want to learn how to do this, or Mom, I don't know how to do this, or I feel like I want to spend more time with my friends, but I'm also, feel obligated to be at home, or, whatever. Like, I think this book is really good for lots of conversation, which is good, right? Like, we want to connect with our daughter. I know that it's so hard when our kids get older, especially girls and moms. It's like the telltale thing that, like, once girls get older, they fight with their moms more than they connect. And so I think this helps create conversation to where I know it's true, because there's already been situations where my daughter has come to me, which I don't think she would have had we not had these conversations. And she has pulled out these books together and said, like, hey, let's do this. Let's read this chapter again, like, after we've already read it. So I know that it's helping her. I know that it's helping her process and have conversations about it. It also comes with a journal, so you guys can kind of write back and forth to each other and share thoughts and plan things together. And that's really cute too. I think, like my daughter and I like to write in it and then leave it on each other's nightstand. So that way it's kind of like this discreet, non-embarrassing way of communicating for her. But let me go through some of the chapters in this book. So it's body talk is the first one, hygiene basics, nutrition, exercise, sleep, safety, puberty first, periods, her changing shape, beauty and style, clothing, control in the body. And then there's the world beyond chapter, which includes family scenes, social shift, virtual worlds, romance. Y'all, I was so nervous about that one, but they handled it really well. So time management and communication. So I know it sounds cheesy. These books are literally teeny tiny, thin, so easy for you to get through. And it makes it extremely less awkward because, it's just hard. It's hard to know where to start the conversation. And this kind of gives you the framework to know what to say. And like I said, we want to be the people that our daughter comes to. And so I don't have like all these tips of, hey, like this is what you should say and these are the words you should use. No, like I'm telling you to go get this set of books because this is a game changer. And that is how I did it. And it worked. And if you find another solution, great. But I know that this one I really love because I really love the message. It's not too graphic. It's not too much. It's not getting into things that for our girls, I would say this set is not for preteens. So you're talking probably like 11, 12, 11, I would say 11 and under. I think that online it has a specific age, so I would pay attention to that because there's a different set for when they get older. I would definitely do this set first. But yeah, like what is it? Like even the what is it? Clothing and style one. It's not even really about trends or anything. It's just more about like them finding their own way of expressing themselves in a tasteful way. So in the end, I think our goal here is that we want to be the source. Just like you go to certain places, whether it be e-news or like the real news, you have your go-to places to find out the information because you know they're going to show up. They're going to tell you what's going on. They're going to give you all the things that you want to know in one place. And you go back there time and time again because you like the way they delivered it. You like the way that they said things. You liked, you have all these reasons, but you go back to that same thing. I think for our daughters, we want to be the source, right? We want to control what they here, and we want to make sure it's true. We want to make sure it's age appropriate. We want to make sure that we tackle all these things before it just pops up and then we're scrambling to figure out how to explain it and then it's just unraveling, right? So I highly suggest checking out those books. Again, they're called The Care and Keeping of Us. It's a set of 3 things. It's a book for her, a book for you, and then a journal for both of you, and it's by American Girl. I know you can get it on Amazon. I've seen it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know about Target or Walmart or anything like that. So you might want to, if you guys want to check that out and let us know in the Facebook group. We'd love to talk about it there. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know it wasn't a whole lot of advice or tips, but more just giving you a resource that I know works and is really, really good at tackling this topic of puberty in our little girls, you guys, because that's so hard. It's so hard to imagine our girls growing up. But you can do it. I believe in you. Check out those books. They'll save your life. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Catch you guys next time.